What's going on, YouTube? Ferocity here. Hope you guys are doing well. What's wrong with Call of Duty? Because it feels like wherever you go on the internet right now, whether it's here on YouTube, on Twitter, on Reddit, probably even on Facebook, the overwhelming consensus seems to be extremely negative. I mean, some of the biggest content creators surrounding Call of Duty have not only been criticizing the game, but have been downright negative towards it. While other big-time content creators that get invited to Activision events are straight up not playing the game anymore. They've moved on to a game like Marvel's Rivals or something like that. Because Call of Duty is not in a good state. But why is it? What is going wrong for this game? Well, I think I've been able to pinpoint 4 major issues, and they're issues I've talked about in the past. But if you're new to this channel, I hope that I can educate you on the 4 key issues that face Call of Duty currently. And before I get started here, I just want to make this very clear. Everything I'm bringing up today is 100% fixable. It's just on Activision to gain some motivation to actually make these changes and improve the franchise as a whole. Because I guarantee you clean up all 4 of these issues, the game will be in a good state and people will be excited to play it. But anyways, let's dive into exactly what's going wrong with Call of Duty right now. And the best place to start is the biggest problem currently in the game, and that is, of course, cheaters. Now, Call of Duty isn't the only online game that faces cheaters. Almost every single game right now has this ongoing battle with cheaters, but Call of Duty seems to be losing, and losing badly. They're in a situation where they always feel like they're 5 steps behind, or at least that's how it feels like from a community perspective, where they're always becoming reactive instead of proactive. And there are safeguards they could put in place, but they're not doing that. And it really feels like the cheaters are not only winning, but they are taking over the game. This is especially noticeable if you're somebody who's trying to climb the ranks in ranked play. It seems that you're more likely to run into a cheater playing ranked play than you are running into legitimate players. And it's not only that, these cheaters will hijack lobbies if they're not doing well. And then all of a sudden, hey, there goes your entire game and you get a 15-minute penalty as a result. And what does Activision do? It doesn't feel like much. Yes, they have some kernel changes that are coming in Season 2 or Season 3, but that's still weeks away. And this cheating epidemic, this cheating problem is a massive Achilles heel for Call of Duty at the moment. It has become a massive deterrent for legitimate players. Why do you want to play a game that doesn't really seem to be fighting back hard enough against people who are illegitimately playing? It just really kills your drive to play the game. And that's why so many people have moved on to something else, have gone to Marvel Rivals, or have gone to play old games, because the cheating is just disgusting right now in this franchise. And you might not be somebody who notices it. You might not be somebody who plays against it, but understand it is a major problem. Across Warzone, even in Black Ops 6 now, especially with Call of Duty moving to the Game Pass, it's only made the cheating situation worse, not better. So hopefully the kernel changes that they say are coming in Season 2 or 3 are actually going to solve this problem. But only time will tell. And that's what's so frustrating right now being a Call of Duty player, is you want these changes to massively improve the game's overall experience, but you just don't trust them because everything they've done in the past hasn't worked either. Because this isn't the first time they've tried to update the anti-cheat. This isn't the first time they've tried to improve things on their end. It's still a massive problem, even after all their fixes, even after all their changes. So who knows? It's an unfortunate waiting game that we all have to play. Now let's move on to the second biggest issue that currently faces Call of Duty, and that is the server performance, or lack thereof. And I'll start this video, or this portion of the video, off by saying what is currently happening for Oceanic players is absolutely disgraceful. If you're not aware, players in the Oceanic region, so Australia, New Zealand, cannot play on stable servers. And this has been a problem for months now. And Activision has not solved the problem, hasn't acknowledged the problem, and doesn't really seem very inclined to. And as a result, you lose a portion of your player base. But that doesn't really seem to matter. And I don't understand why. But it's not just Oceanic players that are facing major issues. It's also players across the world. Packet burst has been an issue for years and has gone kind of unaddressed. And it's not just that, it's the rubber banding, it's the packet loss, it's the overall feeling of the servers just not functioning as intended on any given day. And the worst part is Black Ops 6 is all online. The campaign is online, the zombies are online, private matches are online, and the regular multiplayer is online. Everything is online all the time, and it just doesn't feel like they have done anything to properly plan for this. It really feels like they just threw the game as being always online and they'll deal with it later. But the dealing with it later has caused them to be in a situation where everybody is experiencing server issues. And I know, again, that's hyperbolic. Not everybody is facing server issues. Not everybody is facing connection issues. But there is a number of players who are. And you don't want to play a game where these servers don't feel responsive. Like, the hit detection has been wonky in Black Ops 6 ever since the beta. Why is that? Especially for a franchise that has normally had pretty good hit detection. Like, that was one of the biggest things I loved about Call of Duty, was the fact that it felt extremely responsive. Black Ops 6 doesn't feel that way. Players have realized it, they have recognized it, and they don't want to play it anymore. And this isn't just a Black Ops 6 multiplayer issue, it's also an issue in Warzone. Why would you invest a ton of time into a game mode where every single gunfight is crucial? And if you don't have consistency in those gunfights because hit detection is completely chaotic or the overall server performance is inconsistent, it just makes the game feel so much worse than it actually is. So it's a major problem for Call of Duty, and it's one of those things that a lot of players have said they need to improve. And like the cheater situation, it's 100% in their power to do so. They just need to be motivated to do it. Other games don't seem to have this same server problem that Call of Duty does. So, I don't know. I'm not a genius here. I don't know how to necessarily fix it, but it'd be nice to see them try something. The next big thing that we need to talk about that has been a thorn in the side of many within the Call of Duty community is matchmaking. And this kind of goes hand in hand with the server performance or lack thereof. The matchmaking in this game is far too inconsistent, and it is also extremely punishing. Now that the cat's out the bag and everybody knows skill-based matchmaking exists, or in this game it might even be engagement-optimized matchmaking, it really feels like you're punished for doing well, for improving, for getting better. And that doesn't really feel like a system anybody wants to play. I don't hear about conspiracy theories on any other game other than Call of Duty, because Call of Duty's matchmaking system is so rigged against you that it feels like it lends itself to so many weird things happening. And part of that is server performance, like we touched on a few minutes ago, but part of that is because the matchmaking is doing so many weird things behind the scenes, and it's completely manipulating your experience to their benefit. And it might sound like I'm being a tinfoil hat myself, but look at how they've discussed matchmaking in the past. It's not all about connection. It's not all about your last few games' performance, but it's a bunch of different factors and metrics that go into what your next match is going to be. And that's not how anything should work here. It shouldn't be a bunch of different factors. It should be one or two factors. And one of the other issues that goes hand in hand with the matchmaking is that lack of social aspect that the game has now. Because every match is so fine-tuned to optimize your engagement, you're never in a lobby for longer than one game. So you can't ever create lasting rivalries with people, lasting friendships, meet people. It's a lot harder now. And with the chat bans and all that stuff that's going on as well, you just feel less inclined to be a part of this community, and it just sours your overall interest in the game, in the franchise as a whole. And that's the problem. I'm not one of those guys that's going to come on here and advocate for me to pub stomp every single game. I don't want to play a game like that. If I'm that much better than everybody else, it doesn't equate to fun for me. So there is a part of me that enjoys a decent matchmaking system that does prioritize skill. But right now, I don't think it does it very well. It sort of picks and chooses when you're allowed to have fun and when you're not going to have fun. I don't want to be a part of that. That's not fun for me. And I know I'm not the only one. There's many within this community that feel the same, that share this sentiment because it's a problem, because it's something that we're so sick and tired of experiencing. I'm still not sure who this system benefits, but I guess it feeds into their algorithms and it promotes what they want internally. That's why we still have it. But for me and for many, it'd be nice to see a change. Something a little different. Not a complete elimination, just something a little different. And the final point I'm going to touch on today, and I'm sure most of you guys have been wondering, when is he going to talk about the monetization in this game? Well, it's right now. Call of Duty has a greed problem. It's as simple as that. They've over-monetized the game. And I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing. But at some point, you have to ask yourself, what's the benefit for the community? Because like we mentioned, there is a cheater problem. The servers sort of suck. The matchmaking is extremely manipulative. And now we also have over-monetization. Well, where's the benefit for the player? And some people are going to say, right off the bat, they're going to say, well, Ferocity, we get free maps now. Isn't that enough? We used to have to pay for this. No, it's not enough. It's that simple. People have come to realize that the over-monetization of Call of Duty has led to a worse product. Even though we get free maps now, and that's great, when we used to have to pay for maps, the game was just better built. The game felt finished when you bought it. It didn't feel like we needed to have months on end of updates just to improve core mechanics because the game wasn't ready to go. And part of this falls on Activision. Like, we don't need a new Call of Duty game every year. We don't need an integration with Warzone every single year. It just causes too many problems. The games would be far better, far more enjoyable if we got away from this annual life cycle. But Call of Duty needs its money. It needs its greed. And now you introduce the battle passes and the bundles, and now the event premium passes. And I wonder, who benefits other than Activision? Because we didn't get some amazing event for Squid Game. Like, I could understand spending money for the Squid Game event if there was an amazing event as a result. But it's the most low effort event I've ever seen Call of Duty do, it feels like. They get this massive crossover, massive appeal. People love Squid Games. And they do nothing really to make it unique and make it memorable. And that was a major missed opportunity. But this goes hand in hand with that over-monetization that we're talking about. They found a new way to monetize the game, but there was no benefit for the community. So while I'm all fine and dandy if you want to monetize the game, there needs to be a benefit for the community. There needs to be something on the other end for me to be excited about. I was okay with battle passes when it led to free map packs. Then slowly but surely we got less and less content in those, and we got more and more bundles. Now, of course, Modern Warfare 3 did a great job with their post-launch content. I will always praise MW3 for doing that, and we'll continue to see what Black Ops 6 offers. But when the greed and monetization is always front and center, and always seems to be working when nothing else is, it's a major problem. I mean, look at the update we got recently, where matchmaking was completely broken, but you know what wasn't? The store. You could still go and spend money. You couldn't play the game, but you could spend money, and that's what they're focused on. That's what they'd rather put all of their time and effort in. And it would just be nice if some of that monetization, some of that was diverted into making the game better. Win against the cheaters. Improve the servers. Make matchmaking feel a little bit more organic. And then I could maybe be a part of this ecosystem of monetization. But when I see nothing improving, and more monetization avenues, I get more and more deterred from playing the game. I'm just turned off from playing Call of Duty. I mean, that's why you're not seeing it on screen right now. I have no interest in playing the franchise, no interest in playing the game. Instead, I'm playing a game that's going to be shut down as of June 3rd. That's what I'm rather putting my time into. I'm a Call of Duty YouTube channel, and I can't even play the game because it's in such a bad state. That should tell you everything you need to know. This is why people are moving on. You want to know what's going wrong with Call of Duty? Well, it's the cheaters. It's the bad server performance. It's the manipulative matchmaking. And of course, it's the over monetization while they choose not to fix anything. That's it. There are other problems this game has. Don't get me wrong, this franchise has a plethora of other issues, but those are the 4 core issues that currently face this game. And until those 4 core issues are resolved, or once they start slowly improving them, you'll continue to see more videos talking about the downfall of Call of Duty. Because people are fed up. They're done with this. They know this franchise should be so much more, and it could be so much more. But it feels like the community continues to be on the short end of things here. It seems that we're always the afterthought. The primary focus over at Activision is the newest monetization package for them to throw out there for the community to gush over and instantly use their mom and dad's credit card or their hard-earned money to support all of these issues. So that's really the problem right now. There are too many people supporting a substandard product. So there's no motivation or incentive for it to improve. But that's it for the video today. I really hope that you guys got a good idea of the problems facing Call of Duty. And if you have any rebuttals, any debates that you want to begin, start them down below in that comment section. I'm always curious to hear what this community has to say about this franchise right now, because I've never seen the franchise in the state that it's in right now. So everything is so different than it used to be. So I'm curious to see what you guys think of what I've been talking about and think of Call of Duty currently. But that's all the time I have today. This might go down as my longest video ever. So if you want to see some more videos from me, you can hit that subscribe button. Closing in on 4,000 subscribers. Would love to hit it here in January or February. That'd be fantastic. Anyways, guys, that's it for today's video. Thank you again. If you liked it, hit the like button, subscribe again, and I'll see you guys tomorrow or next time. Bye.